What's going on, ladies and gents? Rocco Brown here from mygamingjourney.com. And if you're new here, definitely glad to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. Glad to have you here as well. We are back with another 1v1. I am facing off against a French player. This was the last game that I played prior to the new update that has dropped. Um, Actually, no, that's not true. This is the first game since the new update has begun for me. So let me not even say that and tell that lie. So still primarily getting the feel of how I like House of Lancaster after all of the freaking nerfs that they gave them. Whole nother conversation. But neither here nor there. Let's dive into the game. Before I hit the play button, as I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention, I am a House of Lancaster main. That is primarily what I'm playing at this point. I do play some English. I play a little bit of Ottomans and a little bit of Japanese as well. But primarily in my 1v1s, you will see House of Lancaster. Up until things change, or if I decide that this nerf is just a little bit too much of a headache to deal with, to say the least. So with that being said, let's dive into it and let's see how this game plays out. So at the time of this recording, these are unranked. Well, these are ranked games, but I am unranked at this point in time. Right? I got to go through the 5 placement matches, and as I mentioned, this was the very first game that I played since the new season has started. My opponent was a gold 3 as well. Or no, not gold 3 as well. He was gold 3. I was still unranked at this point in time. As I mentioned, this was my very first placement match. So, long story short, what tends to happen is I tend to open and put all of my villagers on sheep. I then put my next 2 or next 3 on gold, and then I put the remainder rallying on sheep until it's time for me to age up. And I normally age with 13 villagers, right? So at this point in time, just grabbing some sheep, seeing what's going on the map, getting an idea of what my opponent may or may not be doing, and just trying to maneuver and go from there. So, see, my opponent has 3 on gold. For me personally, I'm not a pro, so that doesn't mean much to me. It just means he has 3 on gold. Looks pretty typical, standard, nothing special, nothing out of the blue. And naturally, he's just looking to age up, right? So I'm trying to get eyes and see if I can get any remainder sheep, as much as humanly possible, and just try to get these bad boys back to base with no problem. Now, I assume, and I don't know if you make this assumption as well, but my assumption is most French players are going to open with knights, right? So I don't remember if my opponent did anything different here. And I think he shocked me because I think he opened, instead of with School of Cavalry, I believed he opened with the Chamber of Commerce, if I remember correctly. So I'm getting ready to take these sheep back over to base. What I then do is I age up with my 3 on gold with House of Lancaster. That's what I typically age with, playing House of Lancaster. Very seldomly do I age with Abbey of Kings, but I'll normally age with House of Lancaster. So my 3 on gold do the age up. I'll take 3 and I'll put those on stone. I'll take another 3 and I'll put those on wood, and then I'll start rallying to wood from there. So nothing out of the ordinary here. I'm still gathering sheep. Got my splits down, as you can see. 3 on food. That's the 3 that remained. 3 on wood initially, but I've rallied. Like I mentioned, all of my new rallies go directly over onto wood. Then I got the 3 on stone as well, right? So what I was assuming was going to happen is that my opponent was going to open with what's it called? The landmark that allows you to produce knights, right? And I can't even think of the name of it, but that's what I assumed that he was going to age with. And as I mentioned, I believe off the top of my head, he ended up aging with Chamber of Commerce. So I'm just going back around, seeing if there's any more sheep I get my hands on, and ideally I'm trying to get the resources I need to drop a few manors, at least 3, before I'm forced to start, producing or shifting in any sort of production. So that's what's taking place here. So let's take a quick little gander, ladies and gents. I just want to see what my opponent has going on. School of Cavalry. That's the name of the monument. So it looks like I mentioned, he did age up with Chamber of Commerce. I finished my age up right before him, but I assumed that he was going to start coming with, some knights. And not to say that he does not, but he just didn't age with School of Cavalry, right? So that's where we're at right now with it. My opponent finished his age up. At this point in time, I don't know what he's coming with. I don't know what landmark he chose. My assumption, like always, School of Cavalry, but not what took place. So I got one manor out at this point in time. As I mentioned, I always try to get at least 3 out before I have to shift and transition elsewhere. But I was looking, I'm like, all right, I don't see the School of Cavalry in the front. Like, well, maybe put it in the back. Let's see. But what did this gentleman age up with? So, nothing at this point in time that I see. I'm still looking. I have another manor going down, which is great. See, he's coming back with a load of sheep, and then that's when I saw. I'm like, oh, he went Chamber of Commerce. Like, this is new. Not new in the sense that it doesn't happen, but most French players I play against, opt for the School of Cavalry. So, no biggie. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, where is he trading at? Like, is he trading over here? And looking on my mini map, or I'm like, is he trading over here? So still trying to get eyes on what this gentleman may or may not be doing, or this young lady, excuse me. And just trying to get an idea of what's taking place. So I'm like, well, let me drop this last sheep off and just come back and continue to scout his base. And since I don't see any knights, since there's no knights putting any pressure on, I'm thinking to myself, well, I can just continue to go with manners, right? Because there's no pressure, there's no real need to shift my focus into anything differently. So let's just continue down the manner path, right? So I was like, just to be on the safe side, let's put up a tower, just so I have it in the event that nights start coming. Because more than likely they will show up at some point in time sooner than later. But I'm looking and I'm seeing where he's actually trading at. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's what's taking place. In addition to that, as you can see, I got the next age up for the manors. So ideally, the plan is since there's no pressure, let me start dropping down more manors. In addition to that, I put down the tower by the stone just in the event that that pressure does come. I don't have to worry about having to produce anything at this point in time, right? My gold villagers are pretty much protected by the Lancaster castle and the manors. My stone villagers right now are protected by the tower in case I need to jump inside. And ideally, what I personally like to do, I try to at least go up to 6 manors before I have to age. Not really a requirement, but it's something that I prefer to do if at all possible when there's no pressure that's being applied, which is nice. Alright, so it's kind of what we got going on here. No pressure at this moment in time. About 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. 8 on gold, 8 on wood, 4 on stone, 6 on food. Right, naturally these manors are producing food and wood passively, so that's always a plus to say the least. And that's where we're going from here. So dropped off that last sheep. I'm headed back over to my opponent's base. And I want to get eyes and see what's taking place at this moment in time, right? Currently at 4 out of 6 manors, or 5 out of 6. 5th is currently building. So that's where we have going on, and I think I dropped this last one, I believe. Yeah, I dropped that last one, and then I'm shifting my attention over to food at this point in time, right? So ideally, I'm already sitting at 679 worth of gold. I was like, let me just shift and remove the vast majority of gold gatherers that I had. Let's move them over to food, and then let's focus on getting this age up, right? No real need for me to continue gathering too much gold. So I believe I end up putting at least 3 back on gold, and this is at that moment in time I see production from my opponent. So I see he already has a stable. I see he's building a barracks, and that's the reason why I drop my own production. So I don't start dropping or producing units at this point in time, but my thought process was, let me at least have the production, and then I can turn around and go from there and get ready to, you know, transition in the event that my opponent starts producing units. So now I'm trying to figure out if I want to drop White Tower, or if I want to drop the what's the other age up, King's College. So I opted to go for the White Tower, and my thought process was there may be raids on the backside, so I could have put this White Tower a number of places, right? But I'm like, I want to be a little bit more defensive and a little bit more strategic. Sometimes I'll opt for a little bit more of a aggressive White Tower. Like there would be times I may have dropped it like right here, right? Which wouldn't necessarily be a bad spot. But my thought process is like, let me just play a little bit more defensive. I had to opt away from not getting all of those amazing technology and upgrades that the King College offers, right? But my thought process was, well, let's just be a little bit more on the safe side. Let's get this age up going. Let's start pumping out some units, get some economic upgrades. Getting wheelbarrow right now, and yeah, that's what's taking place, y'all. So that's what's taking place. So I see he's moving across the map at this point in time. I'm just getting a little bit more production. I know he had one barracks and one stable. At this stage, I don't know if he opted to actually produce and build any more production, but I was like, let me start getting my own set of production because I don't want to fall behind, right? So two archery ranges, 2 barracks at this point in time. Remacaron over on some gold, still have some on stone, and I'm just getting economic upgrades. Now I must say, at this point in time, I probably should have focused on getting the remainder of the manor upgrades before I even opted to get the horticulture, the double broad axe, the forestry. Probably could have got wheelbarrow first in and of itself, but I should have opted to focus on the remaining manor upgrade before the others, right? So just my thought process at this point in time. Hindsight, of course, is always 2020. There's probably no right or wrong answer. Matter of fact, in the comment section below, for any of you who play House of Lancaster, you know, let me know how you tend to age. Do you age and then try to get the remaining manor upgrades first, or do you opt for the actual level 1 economic upgrades, right? So from what I see, I still have more production buildings than him, which is golden. And I'm just trying to now continue to secure more resources, get a little bit better of, you know, presence. I see that he's moving. Looks like he's coming across. Not a lot of units, not a lot on his end, which is good, and I have more than enough to deal with that, even if it's not necessarily a lot of age 3 units, right? So I have a few crossbows in there, have a few Earl's Guards in there, right? And I'm like, I should be able to go to town and work there, right? So I'm like, not a bad fight on this end. They're looking pretty good. Clean that up. And now I'm like, alright, I'm getting my age 1 upgrades. I believe do I have 1 blacksmith or 2 blacksmiths at this point in time? I have 2, so I am pumping out and double upgrades is the idea. And at this point in time, I remember he was trading, so I'm like, I don't need to go all the way in the base. Let me back up. Let me come over here and let's deal with his traders and see what we can get done on that end. So at this stage, got the priest going out just to start grabbing some relics, right? When I get relics out the way. Unfortunately, I have 16 idle villagers. Don't be like me, y'all. Be better. Unfortunately, that is something that I have to work on, just awareness, because I find myself idling villagers a lot, both before and after engagements, before and after raids. Sometimes I have villagers sitting in town centers. Another thing is I'm supply blocked as well, which is not ideal. So, got a few workers out the way, which is nice. Looks like we're getting some villagers out the way also. Cool, cool, cool. So I believe that's 4 at this point in time. 5. Still collecting relics, still getting more upgrades, and unfortunately I still don't have this remaining manor upgrade, right? How many relics do we have? So about to drop off the first one, it looks like. So just getting more upgrades. Got a nice set of villagers in the queue. That is something that I struggle with as well. I find myself forgetting to make villagers at times. So just trying to be more cognizant of that as well on my end to do better and be better. So tell me this, and this is another thing in the comment sections below, ladies and gents. Let me know what your unit composition is that you like to make with House of Lancaster. Like, by the time you hit age 3 and above, kind of what is the go-to, right? Like, and what I mean by that, just your general all-purpose composition. I know that it's always going to depend on what the opponent is making and what they're doing. I understand that. I get that. But sometimes with certain civs, some people just make units regardless. You know what I mean? Like, this is my all-purpose unit or all-purpose composition that I can take into a battle, be ready to fight, and as I'm engaging, I can see what my opponents have and readjust and, make the quote-unquote proper counter. So definitely curious to see, what that may or may not be for y'all, but definitely let me know. So still grabbing relics, but that's what's taking place at this point in time. And right now, I'm just trying to literally just secure some resources out on the map, get a better presence. Naturally, there's a lot of gold, a lot of stone out there. I just want to get outside of my base. I still have not got the upgrade for the manors, y'all. So slacking on my end. Should have happened a long time ago. But I am happy that I am still producing villagers. I'm producing units. I'm getting upgrades. So that's something, right? Not saying that it's the end-all be-all. The economic side would have been a lot better, but it did not occur. All right, and not to say that I'm not, doing things economically, right? Got villagers. Macro seems to be pretty decent. Nothing amazing, right? But I am macro appropriately, I would say. At least in my mind at this point in time, right? Probably shouldn't be giving these units away. Probably should be rallying them here, rallying them there. At this point in time, he's coming across. So now I'm making my way back with the army that I have on that side of the map. Now I'm literally just donating villagers, y'all. Look at this. Donate them. Like I said, don't be like me, be better. So, a lot of villagers right now that are being destroyed. I'm coming back to wipe the rest of this army, but he did a lot more damage than he should have, to say the least. Alright. So now I'm trying to get in here, do some work. Lost a lot of villagers. Down to 51 villagers. How many villagers does he have? 60. So I lost a lot, right? at this stage, gonna re-macro and get individuals back out in the mix. Got the castle over there, which is nice, so secure a lot of this gold on this end. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I definitely wiped this army. I should be able to push, get these last remaining manors up. 18 minutes in, or 19 minutes at this point. Still getting relics, which is nice. I don't remember if I got any more than just 3. Right, but that's kind of where we're at there. Last remaining manors are going down. And in my mind, I'm like, well, at least, it may not have been the cleanest fight, but I'm like, at least I wiped the majority of his army. So I'm like, at this stage, should be pretty good in that regard, right? Just get more army myself, because I see he's basically, going heavy again. I'm getting more upgrades. The last 2 manors are almost finished. Re-macroing, getting units out. And I'm ready for a fight, right? Ready for a fight. Chunk of crossbowmen. And I'm like, start walling up, y'all. Just wall the entire map at this point. See where he's trying to come across at. See what he's trying to do. And ideally, I'm just going to start yanking sacreds. Take a good fight, yank sacreds. Already took a decent fight, but nothing special, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay. He's trading on that side now. Got another fight coming. Like, with the amount of spearmen that I have, the amount of archers, the amount of crossbowmen, I should be decent, right, with this fight. And I think I had a lot more upgrades than he did. Alright, so I think I had, let's take just a quick little gander just to see. If he even, so blacksmith, so I'd say we're pretty much even for the most part on upgrades. The only thing that he didn't have was no steel arrowed, so he's 3, 2, 1, 3. So 3, 3, 2, 1. And then on my end, what was I looking at? 3, 3, 3, and almost 3. So 3, 3, 3, and 2, right? But for the most part, upgrade-wise, I was beating him. So let's get back to seeing what we have going on, right? So I knew he thought he was slick. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Let's move these spearmen back. Now he's running through. Whether he knew that I had anything there or not, but now I'm throwing everyone inside the castle. Get these bad boys out the way. And I guess after he saw that, he was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. So, that's kind of how that played out, ladies and gents. So, pros. I continued to make villagers that game, right? I continued to make villagers. I did a decent job there. I got my hands on relics, which is a plus. Got my hands on 3 relics. What else? I did take some map control. Oh, and as you can see, at the time of this recording, I am silver 2. Now that particular, in my ones. Now that particular game was not a silver game. I was unranked at that point in time, and he was gold 3. But just so you can see where we're sitting at now, because I did finish my 5 placement games, and that was game number 1 of my 5 placement games, right? So back to the topic at hand. So got my villagers, continued to produce villagers, which was good in my humble opinion. Got my hands on 3 relics, which was good. What else? And I would say I continually produced a decent chunk of units, which was good as well. Had a decent mix. regular archers, crossbowmen, earl guards, and spearmen, right? So I believe I had the, a nice little combination to deal with everything across the board. That would be on the pro side of the house. The con side of the house is I lost a lot of villagers that I did not need to lose, right? When he performed and pushed into the base, I had villagers sitting out in just on the map. And when I say on the map, not just randomly on the map, but they should have been garrisoned a lot sooner. So they were sitting, after I collected the deer, they were sitting in a place that they shouldn't have been sitting at, and I should have had them over in the town center, over in the White Tower, etc. And I lost maybe 8, 9 villagers as a result of that. So issue number 1. Issue number 2, I would say I should have got the manor upgrade a lot sooner, right? So I was sitting at 6 of 6 for over 10 minutes. I should have, I literally, once I aged up to 3, I probably should have got that upgrade and got the last 3 remaining manors, right? So I was sitting on 6 a lot longer than I should have. What else? Not paying attention to where units were. I had a decent chunk of units up on the top side of the map that were all archers and crossbowmen that could have done a lot more damage, economic damage, actually inside of his base and getting things done. Unfortunately, that never took place, right? So just more map awareness, getting better with multitasking, things of that nature. What else? Um, Those are probably the big 3 things that come to mind, right, for this particular game. Just overall things to work on, because these aren't new issues. These are things that I struggle with across the board a lot, right? So I'm just trying to get better overall, to say the least. So that's kind of where we're at with this game, ladies and gents. Those are just some of the thoughts and things that come to mind. Take a quick little gander and look at this. So as I mentioned, yeah, he was a gold 3. And now my rank is showing up as silver, but as I mentioned, that was not silver at the time. It's just unranked. Let's take a quick little look overall and just see how we did according to the stats in the charts. What took place? We lost one actual building. Cool. Where's my economy at? Economy-wise, not bad. He had me in food, but everything else pretty decent at. Technology aged up before him, which was good. To 2, but he aged up to 3 before I did. 25 research-wise, at 25 he had 24. In this society, I had 3 relics. He had 1. He had more villagers than me and less idle villager time. Like, look at this, y'all. 1 minute and 6 seconds was the average idle villager time frame. Crazy business. So, with that being said, definitely appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Definitely feel free to like, follow, share, subscribe. Feel free to definitely drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I am looking to improve, looking to get better. So definitely feel free to drop your any questions, comments, or concerns below. But definitely make sure things are respectful and definitely make sure things are on topic. Last but not least, definitely check out mygamingjourney.com. That's where all of not only the videos, this particular video that you are looking at here and now, but you will see the accompanying blog posts for this respective video as well, which has a even more in-depth breakdown. So head over to mygamingjourney.com and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, come and check out the live stream and hang out with your boy. I try to stream 6 to 8 p.m. bare minimum Eastern Standard Time. Check whatever that local time zone is for you. That's Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. Some days it may be a little bit longer. Some days it may be a little bit shorter, just depending on how I'm feeling. But I try to do Mondays and Wednesdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then Fridays 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. right? Eastern Standard Time. So with that being said, ladies and gents, appreciate each and every one of you. Definitely feel free, yet again, to leave your comments below, and hopefully we can do this again another time, God willingly. In the meantime, take care.